Welcome to Journey to True Self. I want to thank you for joining me today. I am Primal Light. Prepare for the world with the identity all set. Daughter of the Self-Supreme Primal Light. I want to give thanks and reverence to the Self-Supreme Primal Light, the Supreme Octane Ra. So today I have a message from Shiva. So just to recap, who is Shiva? Shiva is Horus. Shiva first came as Horus. Shiva self-replicas are Ptah and Heru. Shiva is Jesus. Jesus is Shiva's baby self. And when you first come into the world as a god, you make two self-replicas and you come into the world. But when you have to return back, you have to return to also explore the world as a human being. And so now you have to make a baby self. And so Jesus was the baby self of Shiva. And so Shiva have a message for all his devotees and all the devotees and worshippers of Jesus. Number one, the Jesus that you have been worshiping is not the Jesus, the enlightened, but Jesus, the consciousness, the baby consciousness, duality consciousness that sleeps and is in ignorance of the self and is exploring the world only in 100% ego, and his light is obscure. And this is the reason why he takes your soul, because they all want their light is obscure and you have the soul, which is your light. And this is the reason why you can hold balance, because the soul is your light and it's always been shining for you to arise and wake up the baby self, for the mind to come into realization and for the self to come into realization. So Shiva have a message. Shiva says that all his devotees and all the worshippers of Jesus, it's time for you to start looking within yourself and to awake your sleeping self, the great I am. This is what Jesus did. This is what Shiva did. This is what Buddha did. This is what Ramana Maharshi did. This is also what Haile Selassie did, and many great sages that came through to the earth did this also. And this is also what Jasmine did, so that she can merge herself back into her real self, which is the self-supreme taking form as this character, Aset. And so she's a unified self with Aset, and Aset is a unified self with the self-supreme right now. So she has returned back to being her true self. This is what you need to do. Shiva needs your help to bring balance to the world. Shiva needs your help to bring balance to the world. Shiva and all the other supreme beings have been working tirelessly to bring balance to the duality, so that we can move into the non-duality where we'll be in harmony and balance. And so you have to do your share. Will you take responsibility? You have to awake the sleeping self, castrate your ego. When you castrate your ego, because the ego is obscuring your light from the great I am. And so you wake up the great I am, come into self-realization, castrate your ego so that your light can shine and so that you can wake up from the dream. This is how you are going to help Shiva. So this is for all Shiva devotees. This is for all the worshippers of Jesus. Know that Shiva is Jesus. And right now, Jesus is not in the world. Shiva is in the world. So if you really need some help and how to do this, call on Shiva. Shiva is here to assist all, because Shiva can dissolve the illusion so that you can experience the real and the truth. So all the devotees and all of the worshippers of Jesus, you want to call on someone, please call on Shiva, so Shiva can help you to experience the real, and so you can know the truth. Any being come and want to take your light, know that they are deceiving you, because your light is your real self. and you have to merge all yourself back together into a unified self. You have to castrate the ego and awake up the baby self. This is what the Supreme is asking of you to do so that you can help the world and help yourself to move into balance. We each must play our role. We are a link in the chain of life and in the chain of the self. The self has fragmented itself to come into the world as all taking on all these forms. And so you must come into this self-realization so that you can come into truth. You must bring balance to yourself by turning your light on. How do you turn your light on? You turn your light on by awaking the sleeping self, the God that you're looking for. It sleeps within you, obscure behind the ego. So you have to self-inquire to get the ego to go looking for it and come into truth so you can turn your light on and you castrate the ego. You no longer want to continue to explore the world and experience this world through the ego's eyes, but you want to explore it and experience it through yourself, your real self. Okay? This is how you're going to move yourself into balance. Shiva wants you to know that you should stop following gurus, stop praying to gods, and just self-inquire, come to self-realization, and meditate to remove your ignorance and to come into the real, awake the sleeping self, and to awake from the dream. I bow to you in love, in light, and in truth.